This is 9 News with Peter Overton.
Good evening. It's been a day of brute force and brain power as firefighters prepare for tomorrow's predicted onslaught of horrific weather in the Blue Mountains. High winds and hot temperatures have sent the alert level skyrocketing. This is a live shot of the region right now from the 9 News helicopter. Reporter Mark Burrows begins our coverage.
Blackheath woke to a blaze that must have felt dangerously close. Just over the ridge, an enormous line of flame moving away from the town. A blaze that was deliberately lit by RFS volunteers.
Let the bottom burn right through.
Who are fighting fire with fire, sending flames back into the fire front, the hope to slow the speed of that main blaze.
It's very important indeed just to get it all basically in and ready for that fire front that's going to come over the next few days with the wind, yeah.
The fire stretching from Lithgow to Bilpin has largely been contained around the Bells line of road. After desperate backburning, that fire has been deliberately merged with the Mount Victoria fire to the south. The idea to prevent it from moving southeast towards the Great Western Highway and the towns of Blackheath, Katoomba, Lawson and Springwood.
The latest projections are indicating that we may have made a significant inroad into just how far these fires are likely to advance.
Fire breaks are being carved through the bush, and everywhere the men and women in yellow protecting properties and where they can taking advantage of favourable winds and burning bush to starve the main fire of fuel.
Whilst it is promising, we should not be complacent. This fire is still alive. It is still at risk.
Premier Barry O'Farrell and his Emergency Services Minister were at RFS headquarters as a storm front approached, promising drenching rain. But it proved worthless. A few drops that did nothing to ease the threat to locals, such as Jodie Marsden at Hartley Vale.
Anxious, exhausted, frustrated, but yeah, just coping well.
The forecast tomorrow is worse than earlier predicted. Hotter temperatures and lower humidity. On top of that, winds gusting to 100 kilometres an hour. Weather that could turbocharge a blaze and send it across the mountains to as far east as Richmond and Penrith. New South Wales Fire and Rescue has ordered one of the biggest convoys in its history to help out. 170 tankers, 800 firefighters. They were briefed this morning.
Well, tomorrow about 2 o'clock, they're saying there's hellish winds coming out of the west. They're going to drive this fire towards Sydney. So hence they want us down there quickly.
20 fire engines and crews are travelling from Victoria and Queensland.
Tomorrow's fire prediction is unprecedented. We haven't seen fire activity in living memory of what we're going to expect tomorrow.
All schools across the Blue Mountains will be closed tomorrow.
We're being told that this is the safest spot in Mount Victoria, so we're feeling okay.
And from the Commissioner to locals, tonight is the night to work out any possible escape plans.
If your plan is one to leave and leave early, then you should leave early. And what I mean by that is tomorrow morning before lunch. Make your journey before lunchtime tomorrow and go somewhere outside of the Blue Mountains region.
Mark Burrows is in the 9 News chopper above the fires tonight. Mark, how's it looking?
Peter, still an awful lot of smoke shrouding the mountains right now. It's very strange to be here talking about a potentially catastrophic fire tomorrow because there is still light rain falling here. The temperature is still very mild. But this is all set to change because the RFS is sticking by its forecast of appalling weather tomorrow with very strong winds. Why are they concerned about these strong winds? Because fire can move as fast as any prevailing wind. A 50 to 60 kilometre-hour fire at this stage is really quite unthinkable. As the RFS Commissioner says, if anybody in the Blue Mountains is thinking of leaving, make sure you do it early. Peter.
Thank you, Mark. We'll talk to you a little later in the